It's funny because I do lean so old school that people expect me to be that ain't country, like wave that flag. And I'm not at all. I think genres are kind of dumb. It's whatever people connect to. Like, I don't think you have to be writing about growing up in a trailer house in small town Arkansas and living off the garden you're making outside and riding horses. And like, though that was my life, and it is, nobody argues that's country. Like, there are a lot of definitions of country, and I think honest authenticity is country.
Hi, I'm Ben Earl, and this is the podcast where I get to know country stars through the places that have made them who they are. Because I think in a way that we are everywhere we've ever been. The places we go, they lead to the people we know, and that all comes out in our music. So if you love country music, if you're curious about the world, and if you want to hear the best storytellers telling their stories in their own words, stick around. You're definitely going to want to hear this. This is Country Roads. I have an artist on Country Roads today who is a fairly new name to me. I'm not going to lie, but he seems to just sort of burst onto the scene. She's making an amazing wave here in the UK particularly. Her name is Mae Estes. Estes.
Yeah.
I said it wrong. Mae, welcome to Country Roads. How are you feeling, firstly?
Oh my goodness. Flo on my team was just calling having the flu in your first C2C experience rubbish.
Yeah.
And I have decided rubbish is my new word for it. So it has been rubbish, but I am feeling so much better. Yeah, I did not expect to have the flu for 7 days. Man, I was stuck to my hotel bed and just half disappointed because I hate to cancel anything, and then half just feeling like death actually because of the sickness. And so I think the fever being gone and everything, I feel like $1,000,000 compared to what I did, but I'm definitely still just trying to take it easy on myself, which is not something I'm good at.
Yeah, 'cause I was following you. You were over to Berlin. You went to first. Is that right?
Yeah, we were supposed to play. We went in a day early and had a show the next night, and we felt so smart. We're like, we even came a day early to get our jet lag together, and like, this is perfect. Nope. So
you said you felt like
changed.
you were going to die. Literally, you said like it was that bad. Yeah.
And I have a really crappy immune system, which is not good
okay.
for our careers. No. But so I've been pretty sick a few times in my life, but this was the worst flu I've definitely ever had. It was really, really hard on you, and then just the dramatic part of being so far away from home. I've been married a long time, and though I don't want to be so dependent on my husband, he is my emotional support human. And so him being so far away and just in a foreign country I don't even speak the language in, that's always not extra fun when you're sick. Yeah. So just a lot of that. But everyone's been so kind and understanding, and so I couldn't have asked for more support in that.
I heard you play last night. There was a show, as we speak, There was a showcase last night, and that was the first time you performed since you had this awful flu, and you were amazing. I'm not just saying that. You played a new song as well. You Want a Woman, is that it's called?
Yes, you have such a great memory.
That was amazing. You must have felt, because everyone was singing along by the second chorus.
Well, I was pulling my flu card. Yeah. Like, there were a lot of people singing it first, and then I was like, hold on, when else am I going to get to wave this flag? So I was like, hey guys, I came all the way over here and almost died. If you need sympathy, like, use it now and sing this song for me. And then the whole room started singing. But yeah, I love a listening crowd, and so it's so special over here to have people that even respect you enough as a performer to even hear what you're saying, much less sing along. That's
just amazing. Have you recorded that song already?
I haven't. It's brand new, but It's been really fun to try out on the crowd, and it's a simple song. I think as songwriters, we always I want it to be like life-changing kind of stuff, and that's not one of those, but you do know it quickly. You understand the message easy, and so...
I agree and disagree. I think... I'm not going to say the lyrics. I don't want anyone else to write it. I want to, it's such a simple lyric, like you say.
Yeah.
But that little turning end of the chorus, you say if you want a woman, X, I'm not going to say what it is. And I was like, oh, damn. I had that thing. I've had it before in the Bluebird in the listening room when someone else plays a song and I go, oh, I hate and I love you at the same time.
I love
such a good song. It was so brilliant. The second you played it, I was like, that has number one written all over it. It's a big song. It's a really big song. And you could not tell you had the flu at all, or have had the flu.
Thank you.
Your story, I can't wait to hear about it because, I mean, the name of where you grew up firstly, I mean, what a place to sort of come from. You come from Hope in Arkansas. Is that right?
That's right.
I heard you describe your upbringing a bit last night, being in a trailer park.
Yeah.
Like you said, even having a shower now, like a warm, nice shower, is a bit of a luxury. I mean, what was your upbringing like? What was your family life like?
Well, Hope is such a funny and misleading name, but it's been so good for my songwriting because I don't mean it negative, though that's the only way it comes across. But I mean, we called it hopeless when we grew up there. And I think, being born there, you don't know anything else exists outside of the world. And so I think anything I appreciate about it now, I took for granted completely until I got far enough outside of it to appreciate it, which is life in general. But very small town, very small-minded town, which is great. Like, there is something so special to me about simplicity and not overthinking something and, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of complex. Like, that's my hometown. And so I love the tradition of things, and everyone I love is there. All my family is there. So it is truly, makes up half my heart. Just that's the place I was born and raised. I
mean, we're talking of your family. It sounds like a country song. I mean, there's one thing I picked out. So your parents broke up when you were quite young, is that right? Yeah,
we have Jerry Springer over here and everything. Still, like, I literally say I grew up in a Jerry Springer episode.
Well, because so your parents, your mom and dad break up, but then your mum gets remarried. Now, the thing I read, I don't think I got this right. Of this
I was about to say, there's no way you got all the info.
Your mum and stepdad get married, get divorced, get remarried, and are now getting divorced again.
Yes, you did do some research.
I mean, that is a country song.
Buddy, it shouldn't be legal to get married to the same person that many damn times. It's like, what are we doing? But yeah, I grew up in a broken home over and over again. Like you said, that was my stepdad. That's not my biological dad. So he left my mom and I when I was really young. And so I just really think God gave me the story that I have so that I would have something to write country music about, and so that I would be able to connect with complete strangers through more than just, I sing and people are connected to it, or I can get them to listen. Like, I truly have seen a lot of the ugly of the world from a really young age that now I'm really grateful for, because I do feel like I can relate to a lot of people. Maybe we haven't been through the same hard things, but I know how ugly and hard the world can be, and that just really helps me understand people in the world a lot better, I think. So it's definitely been a journey, and I think I'm not done yet. I think God's got a lot more random stuff to throw at me, but music has been the tool that's helped me survive all of that.
I was going to ask, when did it come in? Because I know Loretta Lynn was a big inspiration for you, but so was it always kind of more classic country growing up? Was that your sort of escape? Was that your thing?
That's kind of, I think because of the area I grew up in too, I got to give a lot of credit to Hope, Arkansas, because country music is a way of life. That's why I think a lot of people relate to country specifically where I'm from, is they were singing about what we were actually living. And so I really love all kind of music. You'll see if you see any of my full band stuff, I rap Nicki Minaj in the end of my sets. Okay. So no one sees that coming. And so I love all kind of music, but just definitely was doused in the classic country because of my mom's taste. My mom loved the old school classic, and we had CMT and music videos going while other people, like my family, didn't watch sports or anything like that. It was music all day long, every day. And my family doesn't play music. I have a couple generations back that had a bluegrass band, but my mom and dad aren't musical, other than big fans that love it. And so, I just really hated the classic stuff when I was young, which I think as kids we're like, this is boring. These people are old. Like, George Jones is almost dead when I was listening to his stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to learn this old stuff. I want to sing Martina McBride and Carrie Underwood. And but now you can't even make me listen to the new stuff. So it's funny how I think that goes back to you don't know to appreciate it until you don't know what you have till you don't have it, or until you have a bird's eye view over what it looks like. So same with classics for me, but since, I literally was 6 or 7, I've been singing Don't Come Home a Drinking with Lovin' on Your Mind, Loretta Lynn, and it's the real deal for me. That's the kind of country music I completely am obsessed with.
It makes a lot of sense to me then as to why I know you put so much hard work in, and we're going to talk about that, but why you're having your moment now, because your sound is quite, I hate the word throwback, but there's like a nostalgia to your music. And I've been doing this a long time, and I'm always a bit cynical when I see a new name come in. I'm like, oh, they're doing a throwback thing. But actually, that's just you. And like you said, you lived country music. Your upbringing is country, whereas some people politely kind of pretend. You can tell, and I can hear that in your music. So it makes complete sense to me now why people are resonating with it, because you are country, aren't you? You're country through and through. That's your life,
Yeah, and it's funny because I moved to Nashville over 10 years ago, and when I got there, I very much was too country for country. And I feel, it's probably too bold to say, but here I am. Like, I've watered it down, quite a bit over the years, trying to straddle the line of, I want a commercial country music career. I moved to Nashville and sacrificed everything in the whole world, left all of my family, all of my friends, everything I've ever known to move to Music City for the business part of it, because that was my ticket out. There is no other way for me to provide for myself and take care of myself and take care of the people I love. And like that part of the business for me was like, this is my way to survive. Yeah. And so when I moved to town, commercially, it was very much still the bro country and the pop country. And if anything, we were further away from the tradition of the genre than we ever had been. And so I was like, wow, I thought Nashville was like made for artists like me, and got there and found out not at all. And I've been trying to, shine myself up and polish myself up so I'll fit in this shiny genre that country music became. And now the 10-year cycle feels like it is finally flipping back around, where people are hungry for that genuine authenticity. And it's funny because I do lean so old school that people expect me to be that ain't country, like wave that flag. And I'm not at all. I think genres are kind of dumb. I think genres are for the business side. I think they're the commercial dividers that help you figure out how to sell things and how to categorize them, like no harm, no foul. It's like a color code system in my head. But I think it's whatever people connect to. Like, I don't think you have to be writing about growing up in a trailer house in small town Arkansas and living off the garden you're making outside and riding horses. And like, though that was my life, and it is, nobody argues that's country. Like, there are a lot of definitions of country, and I think honest authenticity is country.
And the storytelling within those two things. There's always I've had it questioned with me. It's like, you're British, how can you be a country artist? And it's like, I've always thought it's the two things you said: honesty, authenticity, and storytelling. I don't sing about being up on horses because I haven't got horses. I don't sing about truck, but for me, country is those things. And I'm very happy it's swinging back around now. And there is space for the bro country stuff, I think, still in the pop stuff, but it does seem like people want a bit of everything. They just want people to be who they are, which is great for people like you, because you're brilliant. You're so good. Your music and your voice is so distinctive as well.
Thank you so
I love it. The thing I will say, though, is you are really clever as well. Book smart, like really. But you had a full ride scholarship, is that right?
I did, yeah. I come from the most supportive family in the whole world. Like, I truly would not be sitting here with you today if I didn't have a mom and a dad and a sister and an aunt and a mama, and like a long list of people in my family that from the time I was like, give me that microphone, I think I can do this. Like, they have beat it into my skull that I can fly as high as I want to. And when I call them and say, this town hates me and I can't make it and I'm coming home, and they're like, no, you're not. So I'm so grateful for that support, but I haven't had any financial support, and I knew I wasn't going to have that. And so I knew from a young age I was going to have to figure all of that out. And so I think that's why I just worked. I would like to say I'm smart also, but the work ethic is really what got me through school so successfully, is because I got incredible grades, you know, teacher's pet, all the extra credit kind of student. And so I was able to get a full ride when I went to college, and honestly, I've used that degree for nothing. I waited tables with it, but I was a first-generation college grad, which means a lot to me.
Gosh, that's massive, isn't it?
And, you know, just to have the opportunity to go, to have the opportunity to work, to get the scholarships and things like that stuff matters to me. And so I'm really proud that I did go to college, and I got a lot of partying and drinking out of my system that I sure needed to do before I moved to Music City. But yeah, I got a full ride and graduated with my bachelor's in mass media communication.
I think for British people listening particularly, they won't understand the significance of, because for us university, we get a government grant kind of
Rub
thing.
it in, rub it.
No.
Doing your free health care, get out of here.
I mean, it's expensive, but it's nowhere near the level of American college. And, you know, how, like the fact you did that, I mean, very few people get a full ride scholarship. It's a big deal, isn't it? It's a really big deal.
Yeah, and there are ways to manipulate the system. And like, you know, a lot of people are forced into sports scholarships and things because they have the ability and they have to go to school, so they have to play the sport whether they want to or not to afford it. And so I was grateful I didn't end up in something, you know, like that. It was all still pretty organic and authentic, but I wanted to go to Belmont in Nashville. Obviously, I wanted to study music if I was going to go to school, but yeah, I was going to get no scholarships there because it was out of state, and you had to be a lot smarter than I was to compete for those scholarships. And so, but it's funny, you know, God's plan has just always ended up, I wish he would tell me a lot earlier in advance and not just let me out here, you know, blindly roam around.
No fun though, would it?
But yeah, I truly believe it's all been exactly how it's supposed to be.
The irony, I think, would have been that if you had gone to Belmont, that might have washed off all your, you know, your dirt in a nice way. Might shined you up, and, you know, there'd be the Nicki Minaj bro country kind of.
We could be pop country, God.
But that does seem to be the theme of you, really, like with your just reading through your story and piecing it together, like the hard work. Like you basically said you got that scholarship by hard work alone, which is, I don't know, I'm sure it's not true, but your first kind of move to Nashville, firstly, I imagine it was a massive culture shock. Like you said, you felt too country for there. What jobs were you doing to sort of sustain yourself? What did you have to do? What were you doing?
Well, I mean, honestly, I had no idea where to start. Like I said, my family's amazing, but in my hometown, you go work at the bank, or you work at the Joyce plant, or you work at the Tyson chicken plant. Like, there's just not a lot of opportunity. And so people aren't thinking of what's my dream career where I come from. You're thinking of how can I pay my bills, support my family, and hopefully afford myself the time and money to do what I want when I have free time. Like, that's kind of how the culture is, and nothing wrong with that if you're doing it that way. But I was like, this is my everything, and I got to make it that, which is good and bad in its ways also. But one of my first jobs, this is one of my favorite stories. I was just on one of the Indeed or whatever websites, just looking for anything I could, and saw the Grand Ole Opry had an opening, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it's a giant operation. So I was like, cleaning toilets, whatever. Like, I'll get in the Opry. I'll have a name tag. Like, let's do it. And it was in the gift shop. And so I did work there for probably like 7-8 months.
Wow.
On top of a few other jobs at the same time. But
you ever sneak in and like sing a note in the?
I did.
You did?
Yes. Well, when we first got hired, you go through this big onboarding process, and they give you a full blown tour one day. And so they were like, "Does anyone want to sing a note?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I think I sang like, I don't remember, probably a Patsy Cline, you know, Crazy or something like that. But it's funny because a lot of my friends are like, I wasn't going to step in the circle or on the stage or anything
Did you step into the circle?
The moment. Yeah, but I was like, I may never get that chance. Like, I may die tomorrow. I'm standing in this circle and singing. And thank God I eventually got it. But worked there. I worked at a Victoria's Secret in the mall in Green Hills.
So we had Russell Dickerson on fairly recently, and he made quite an un-Russell Dickerson joke about going into Victoria's Secret. I was very shocked by it. But I did wonder, have you ever had any kind of celebs or like songwriters or artists that came in when you were working there?
Yes. Carrie Underwood came in. which was crazy. And I didn't like wait on her, but we definitely, that mall specifically in Nashville too is the bougie mall. It's like Victoria's Secret's probably the like trashiest brand that was in there. It's all of these designer brands I can't even say or afford. But that was one of the worst jobs I ever had. That company, obviously there's all kind of documentaries and things about how there's a lot of evil underlying
I didn't know
things.
that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's a Victoria's Secret's a dude. There was a song like about that and stuff, but the guy that ran it, either way. But just a corporation that's just, and I wasn't there to do that job. No. That's where I was just like, why are you doing this? And so
you have to help people when they change it. Like, does this look good? And stuff?
Yeah. You have to fit, which I didn't mind that. It feels really good to have a woman come in who's like uncomfortable with her body and the fit of her clothes and like really fitting her for a bra or things for the first time, where it's like, it's supposed to fit you. Your body is not the problem. Okay. Your clothing is the problem. So there was an opportunity to really make women feel good about themselves. So I loved that part of it. But retail in general is just a big SOB. The public is hateful. And it doesn't get better in serving, but that's where I ended up.
Yeah.
Majority of my time, I started waiting tables because it was a lot less taxing as far as I could have a hell of a shift. But when I walk out that door, nobody's saying, is this project ready in the morning? Or like, are you going to, like, you leave it there.
Yeah.
And you can trade your shifts easier. If Bluebird would call me and say, someone got sick, can you come play tonight? And I would text everyone not working that night and say, fire me if you have to, I'm going to play the Bluebird. But usually I could find someone to take my shift, and that kind of flexibility doesn't really come with any other job. So
I think in Nashville they get that as well. I mean, it's funny, I saw a thing recently as well. Obviously, like we said, you were sick, but Emily Ann Roberts stepped in for you, and I think there's that kind of sisterhood and that kind of friendship in a place like Nashville, isn't there? Are there people you came up with who you help each other out? Do you still have people like that from those days?
Absolutely, and I couldn't do it without them, and I sure wouldn't want to. Like, I've been really transparent about my struggles with the industry itself. I am not a good politician. Like, I am so genuine and honest. There's not a good spot for that in business in my experience. And so I really struggle with that part of it. And without having the genuine friendship and humanity piece of my community with other artists and writers and, industry people, I definitely could not have survived the music industry.
When you say the politics or politician side, do you mean if you see something, do you call out as it is? Is that what you're saying? Or is it just having to be, oh yeah, thank you, when you don't like someone? What is it? What do you mean?
I think every step in business is not authentic. That's what the biggest lesson I've had to learn is it's transactional. And I would, at this point, fight anybody who tries to convince me otherwise. But the thing about the music industry is you're selling feelings and emotions, and you're not critiquing the spreadsheet that I made and the way I did it, or the timeliness of me doing my work for you, or things like when as a business we're looking at something as not being enough or not performing the way we want it to, it's directly tied to my identity, and that's a tough, messy process. But yeah, I think I don't genuinely and honestly feel the way it's most convenient to feel or think all the time in business. And so that's hard for me to not approach the business with the same authenticity that I approach my music with.
I mean, I've been releasing music for 12 years now, and even in that time, it is so different. Like, your sort of benchmarks of success, it's like, success really nowadays is whatever you want it to be, like how you want to consider it. Like,
yes.
If you want to say 100 records sold as success, that, that has to be it for you, or whatever, live shows. But it's very hard to be like, oh, I had a number one, that's successful. It's so random now. It's so hard as an artist to... I don't know. I just find it's a very weird time to be an artist, I think.
And not to throw it at you, but I would love, have you figured out what your definition of success is? Because that's been, it's torn me up over the last 3 years. Once I signed a record deal, especially.
Because that often is the thing, isn't it? You're like, that's
what we chase forever. Yeah. And then you catch it and you're like, well, shit, what do I do now? And it only gets harder, but I think that's been the hardest thing for my ego to admit is I have no idea what my actual version of success is, and I'm in this exciting process of peeling back the layers, and I think Nashville specifically gives you an unspoken benchmark of what we just watch everyone around you, and it's like, okay, this, getting a publishing deal is your first step, and then you got to get your booking agent, you got to get your label, and you got to, like, I just feel like I subconsciously collected this list of things that I thought were important to me, and the closer I get to them, the more I'm like, those are cool, and I want to celebrate them with my team that worked hard for us to get that, but it doesn't fill your cup at all.
No, and that's a real common thing. Like I thought once I went top 10 or once I did gold records or we sold at the Royal Albert Hall ourselves, 3,500 people playing big festivals, I genuinely thought I'd just be happy. I was like, well, once I've done that, I'll be happy. And it gets worse. I'm not going to lie, it gets worse. Because there becomes other challenges and other things. But it's a privilege. I mean, just like, I think going back to what you said about the early struggles of just trying to support yourself or where you came from, that's people's mindset. I think just being able to do it, just being able to do this is just the most amazing thing. But I mean, you have put in so much hard work. Like they say Nashville's a 10-year town, and you can see that the way you talk about it. I mean, all the first record deal, the publishing deal, that all came around about your 30th birthday, roughly, wasn't it? So 20 to 30, you're in Nashville. Now, those are quite formative years, your 20s, to be striving for that. So what was it like when you signed that deal at sort of 30s, which is a big time in lots of people's lives, particularly a woman's life? 30 is quite a big thing. How did it feel?
Honestly, it was one of those incredibly melancholy experiences that I think probably only you would understand, because it's very hard to get something that is all you've ever wanted and have anything negative to say about it. But it feels that way. It's like nothing could ever live up to what you want it to be, and truly it just gets harder. It's just like you're still jumping through the same hoops, but now you're on fire while you're doing it, or so, like it's a new set of challenges in every stage and chapter you're in. And so it was I did have a moment where I was like, wow, I think it was a moment for me to celebrate, like, there's nothing that can stop me from getting what I want out of this life. I may have to sacrifice absolutely everything I have, and it may take me my entire life to get it. But getting a record deal for me was like coming from small town Arkansas with no connections and no reason to believe I have a shot in hell at any of this, and ending up with a whole team of people who believe in what I do enough to invest that early. Like, that was definitely a vote of confidence for me. But I don't celebrate anything well. I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so I think I definitely held both of those feelings when I finally got to sign this record deal I'd been chasing since I was freaking 7 years old, Yeah.
It's amazing as well being slightly older. Last night, for example, there were 20-year-olds at the Jack Wolf band.
19-year-olds.
Yeah, they're 19, are they?
I think Evan in the Jack Wolf band is 19.
So I was watching Jack particularly, and I was like, you're so young. And you were so excited about it. And that's I remember being that young.
It's contagious to their excitement. I have he started with me when he was 18. My lead guitar player in my band is now 21, but started with me at 18. And I'm 32 now, but I'm an 85-year-old woman and have been since I was like 5 years old. Obviously going through a lot of trauma young. You grow up quick. And so I've always had that mentality. But just having him in my band, it's the biggest blessing, because it's contagious to see their eyes. Like, we all were that kid in a candy store at some point. And he just reminds me, his name is Nate, but Nate just reminds me how unbelievable it is that we get to do this. And when I'm bogged down, and especially as an artist, like, touring is one tiny sliver of my world as an artist. I have a million jobs and things to do and departments, and but that youth and they're not bitter yet, they're not jaded by the industry. Like, I want to keep those kind of people around me, because that pure joy, like, you have to work hard to hang on to it. It's a full-time job to protect that part of you. So yeah, I love watching the babies that got breaks way before I ever thought about getting a break, just because it's cool to see them living their dream, and it's contagious.
But you have got an amazing support network, and one of your biggest songs, Mr. Fix It, is about your husband, who is pretty much, he's a massive thing for you, isn't he? You said at the start of the interview, you're missing him so much at the moment. When did you get married? Like, how much of the journey he's been part of? What's...
Well, the funny thing about my love story is where I come from and the examples I saw of love growing up. Obviously, my dad left when I was super young, and those abandonment issues stick with you. And I don't want to give any credit to that man. I'd love to be like, didn't affect me at all. But I think a lot of my work ethic probably even is some subconscious way of me trying to prove my worth and, you look what you're missing out on kind of thought. But anyways, I had zero plans to have a relationship, sure as hell to not get married. I mean, love you, Mom and Dad, but have made an absolute mockery of, the concept of marriage. And that's just what I saw firsthand. So no way in hell did I want to sign up for that. And then I went to college and was working a job while I was going to school. I was taking a ton of hours. I graduated early because I was like, I got to get to Nashville. Gosh, I'm so tired of being here. I've got to get to Nashville. And this guy, I went to a house party one night. At his house, I was friends with his roommate's girlfriend. She's like, I want you to meet Chad. And I was like, whatever. I mean, I got time for a little fun, but I ain't got time for trying to settle down. And he is so quiet and shy and was just making me whiskey drinks all night and, just being a sweet, quiet guy. And I was like, okay, and we hung out in college for a few months, just really casually. And then didn't talk for almost 4 years.
Wow.
In that process, graduated school. He lived in his hometown is the town I went to college in. And so I moved to Nashville. I'd been in Nashville for almost 2 years. We hadn't spoken at all. And we both ended up at a mud bog.
Okay.
Now tell me, does London know about a
no idea
mud bog?
No.
All right, well, it was down in South Louisiana. People just own a ton of property, so just like hundreds and hundreds of acres, and they open an ATV park. So they charge you, I don't know, roughly $100 a head or something, and you bring campers and like side-by-side ATVs and four-wheelers. Sometimes they'll do like trucks and Jeeps. And it's a whole weekend. There's usually music. It's kind of music festival vibes. And you just mud ride for the whole weekend. It's the most redneck thing in the world. But Chad and I, 4 years after not talking to each other, both end up at this mud bog in Louisiana. And all of the fun and natural charisma we had together, was still there. But we were way more grown up. And it was undeniable. I was trying to fight it with every fiber of my being because, especially having children, I can't imagine. It can be done 1,000%. But I didn't think I got a partner in this thing. I had chosen music. It's always going to be my priority. And literally when I started dating that man, I was like, you're always going to come second and you need to know that. And so I didn't expect it. And he moved to Nashville less than 6 months after that, found roommates on Craigslist and said, I'm going to be here so we can date and figure this out to see if it's even worth it. And I was like, don't do that. Don't move here, buddy. No. But thank God he did. And now we've been married almost 6 years and together 9. And I could not survive my career, my life. I wouldn't want to without
this
him.
This trip is proof of that. You almost died of the flu.
Oh my gosh. And this is the...
You need a chat.
Yeah. He tours with me most of the time. He owns his own mobile mechanic business so that he has the flexibility too. And so we spend a lot of time together. So this has been a lot of time apart, which is good for both of us in the end. But I don't have words to describe the supportive partner I got in him. It's not like nothing I've ever seen. And the song Mr. Fix-It, as cheesy as it is in my catalog, I'm like, I love song. But it's so true. I was very broken when, he met me, and he was patient and kind, and I literally barked at him like, you're going to give up. Everybody gives up. I'm scary. And, he wouldn't. And he was just like, nope, you deserve love, and no one's ever shown you that. And here I am to show it. And, almost a decade into our relationship now, he's proven that every single day. And on top of the actual mechanic part, which is what kind of helped it go viral, I think, is
Great
like
for a song as well.
yeah, the blue collar boy part of it. Like, people were putting their grandpas and dads and all of the, like, anyone who was just handy around the house. Like, so it was a double-edged sword of that. But the song is so authentic to me. It is my love story, and I truly can't believe that it's mine.
That's a beautiful love. Genuinely, you made me believe in love again. And I need to be a better man because Chad sounds amazing. He genuinely sounds like...
I don't deserve him. I do not understand. But yeah, he is the best thing ever.
Mae, thanks. Just before you go, I've got some quick fire questions for you. You've been amazing, though. Thank you for telling your story so heartfeltly and authentically. I love it. We ask all artists these questions. Fascinated to hear your answers. Just quick fire ones. The strangest place you've ever written a song?
In the shower.
That's really common,
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess I'm pretty ADD, and like I have to write down, like, I'll say something genius in my head, and if I don't write it down, it's gone.
Yeah.
So I think the shower is the weirdest for me because I'm not able to, like, I'm just singing through a line and having to remember it, or I'll have my voice recorder while the shower's going. Those are my favorite voice notes, to try to hear what I was singing, because it's just the water. I guess I am so Nashville that I really am in a writing room and, like, have a set. I don't get to do inspired writing as much because it's such my job.
Yeah, such a machine, isn't it?
So I need to look for a cooler opportunity on a place to write a song.
The place you've never been to but would love to visit?
It has been London, I will say. Really? I have been really, really excited about London. Like, as stupid as this is, but the whole Harry Potter series my sister and I were in love with, and so just this whole area and culture and stuff I feel like I fell in love with from a young age. And then the country music scene here drew me in. 10 years ago I started setting my sights on trying to have the fan base here that so many of my friends have. I'm close to Ashley McBride and people like that have really built something incredible over here, completely separate from their success in our country. And so yeah, I don't know if that's kind of a cheating answer because I got to see it, but
it's also the perfect way to end because, Mae, people already are sort of getting so excited about you. I've got a radio show as well. I picked you out as my class of 2026. You're one artist I think is going to be massive this year. The UK loves you.
Thank you so much.
Mae Estes, thank you so much. Love to have you on Country Roads.